Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. Today, we're heading to Mauritania. But first, cheers to Jagex. See how much XP we get here. Going to be 149 tiers. Going into room crafting. Almost 9,000. Enough for a level. 46. Yep. That's tiers of Jagex. Once again, it is time to get the stuff out of the looting bag. So I'm going to go over here and stand in the wilderness for a little bit. Destroy. In the wilderness, yes. And pick up the loot. We could go get another looting bag right now, but I will wait to see if it's really necessary. We don't have a huge number of things currently, so I think we'll get by. We have the Death Talisman, that's useful for later. Tooth key, very good. Just, these are the things we have, yes. Plus all the things we have in storage, of course. But I need to go do a bit of AFKing. So it is back to magic. At least for a little bit. Here is level 80 magic. That is a requirement for wielding the Kodai wand. So I will get right on that. Also, charge, stun, death charge, blood blitz, and string jewelry. There really are a lot of spells. It's also the 5th level 80 plus skill, joining hit points, agility, construction, and 99 thieving. Not the most balanced stats. That's fine. Another level. Always good. I went and got a new looting bag, just so I could bring all the items for the quest at the same time. Lots of different things we need here. Pile of steel weaponry, construction supplies. In the bag, we just have the Tooth Death Talisman and RuneScape shield. Could put more stuff in there, but wasn't really necessary. We start by talking to Vanstorm Claus here. He's just here, sitting in the bar in Canvas. And his friends are in trouble. They are in dire need of some assistance, but he doesn't know how to help them. They've never actually met in person, though the stories of their exploits and daring intrigue him. I'm a bit of a hero myself, so maybe these daring exploits were me all along. They are a group of rebels fighting against the vampires that rule over Mauritania. They are the Myre-key. And he wants to help them, since he's a big fan. Wants to get them some new weapons. Although he really can't accomplish that. So we'll start in search of the Myre-key. I can do that. I can easily do that. Weapons made of steel. A long sword, 2 short swords, a dagger, mace, and warhammer. We have to get them ourselves, of course, because he couldn't. And then we have to find them. Since the vampires are always trying to hunt them down, they keep themselves pretty well hidden. The only lead is the boatman in Morton. So we can head over that way. I better be off. To get down to Morton, there are a few options. And there would be more options if we had completed Shades of Morton previously. We could just minigame teleport right down there. Unfortunately, that's not something we can do. So instead, we're going to take a different path. Not to Canifis, but into Myre-kay. From here, we want to get over to a boat. We also need to get there quickly before the druid pouch gets emptied by all the ghasts, because that's also a requirement here. Interestingly, this is the boat we're going to be taking back this way once we talk to the person that owns the boat over here in Morton. So exactly how we managed all that is a good question. But here is Cyreg Paddlehorn. He's the boatman. Indeed. I've heard that you have had some dealings with the Myre-key. I want to bring some weapons to them. As they are a very secretive group here, he's going to obviously deny knowing anything about this. He's done some work for them, but it's too dangerous now, so he can't help. So now we need to convince him. I guess that they'll just die if I can't get these weapons to him. He thinks we're not too concerned. They can just look after themselves. They're resourceful. They haven't gotten this far while being hunted down by vampires, by being incompetent or anything. But could they get their own steel weapons? Maybe. Who knows? We don't know what they've been up against. Loss. Heartache. If you don't tell me where they are, their deaths are on your head. But there's death aplenty in Mauritania. So, why should he care? He's not going to blame himself. How can you say you don't care? He's got his own issues he's dealing with. He wants to help, but he can't. His part is done, and he's not willing to risk death anymore. But since he's connected, he's basically already risking death. And helping me help them isn't going to change anything. Very well. He's not going to stop us. He's not going to take us to them, though. But we can use his boat. Going through Myre, so we need to have defense against ghasts, which we have in the form of our druid pouch. I can kill ghasts. It's really not a big deal. And now we just need to bring him 6 wooden planks. His boat is damaged, which again brings question to how we got down here in said boat. And there's also a bridge that we're going to need to repair. 3 planks to fix the boat, and 3 for the bridge. Also the hammer and steel nails. There you go. Boat fixed. Just keep going north, and we will find the Myre-key. Board the boat. Also, he's going to charge us 10 coins. Sure. I think I can afford that. And here we go. Back to where we got on the boat in the first place. And now we run north. Ultimately, we don't really need the druid pouch anymore, because attacking gas will do like 2 damage or something. Really not a huge issue. Here is the broken bridge here, in which we need to repair it with 1 plank and 75 nails for each plank. Very large amount of nails compared to other construction activities. Climb back down on this side. Don't need these other 10. And here we have Corpile Fjord. I'm here to help the Myre-key. And I have weapons! Yep, I've got all sorts of weapons. They don't want to be found, though. And they paid him to make sure they stay hidden. We seem sincere, but he's got a job to do. Just need to deliver. So we have an idea. He's going to ask us a few questions. If we answer correctly, he'll let us in. I think we could have gotten most of this information by taking other dialogue options with the first 2 people we talked with. But that is a lot of extra dialogue. So we just get into it. The youngest member of the Myre-key is Ivan Strom. Second question. The only female of the Myre-key is Sani Piliu. And third and final question. The vampire family that rules over Mauritania. That is the Drakons. He believes us. We can head through the doors behind the tree, and it's the first cave on the right. One might think that some random wooden doors hidden in the swamp would be more noticeable when there's a guy patrolling outside. But I'm not going to question his methods. Enter the cave here. And we are immediately accosted by the first person in here. Harold. I'm a friend, here to deliver weapons. So we should go to the leader. Veliath. It's got 6 people in here. And 6 beds. That checks out. Little cave in here. We got some chairs. How many chairs do they have? 2? 3? 3 chairs. I mean, I guess you can sit on some of the crates. That's fine. We got crates. A lot of crates. Some barrels. A chest. Still, a pretty sparse area for the whole resistance here. Harold didn't kill us, so we're not an enemy. I am here because a friend of yours asked me to deliver some weapons. And they could definitely go with the supplies. So we can introduce ourselves to the other members here. We've got Harold, who was cautious to see us, which is completely understandable when some random person wanders into your secret base. He is the guard here, a bit of muscle. And again, huge pile of options we could ask. Sandy over here, who we had a question about to get in here. They are glad to see someone here helping. We have a powerful aura, apparently. I get that all the time, clearly. Then we have Radigan asking if we were wanting to join their group. That's a possibility. We'll have to see how things progress. We have Paul Maffey. He's got glasses. And Ivan Strom, who we know is the youngest one here. Just need to talk to Veliev here. We're going to count that as introductions. It's fine. As we will soon see, getting every bit of information from all the people here is a little unnecessary. I've got those weapons you need. 6 weapons for 6 people. Seems about right. And then a spooky fog. That's a vampire. Vanstrom. We led this vampire right to them. Big mistakes were made. And now he's going to deal with the entirety of the Myre-key. We're dead. Correct, Zanny. Very correct. And Harold goes down too. Only have 30, 40 HP. And instead of just killing the rest of us, he's going to leave a little gift. A skeleton hellhound, level 97. Which immediately attacks me, because of course it does. But it only has melee attacks, so not a huge deal. Also, we're level 96, so assuming we brought armor or food or anything, we wouldn't even really need prayer. But it's fine. But it's fine. Down goes the hellhound. We got some free big bones and rubies out of the deal. Don't really care about any of that. Yep, Vanstrom killed all of them. And he just assumed that hellhound would kill the rest of us. This is my fault, but I did not mean to. We got taken advantage of. Of course we did. Oh well. But we're still responsible. So we're going to help as much as we can here. We did kill the hellhound though, so that was good. So now, we need to find out how we can help. And our first step is going to be seeing if Vanstrom's still in Canifis. He's probably moved on, but it's worth a try. They have a shortcut into the tavern in these caverns. That'll be very useful. But then once we're done looking to see if he's still there, we can come back down here and we can discuss a few things. Okay. I am taking all these things, because why not? Going to bring these bones to my house, though. Get a bit more prayer XP. Then we can find a chisel at some point. Here is the secret wall to get into the basement. And then we are in a trap door behind the tavern here. Not the most ideal basement, being outside near the swamp, but what are you gonna do? Here's a stranger sitting where we started. We thought he was someone else. The dirty murderer, Vanstrom. We've got a score to settle. Definitely have. That is quest complete. 2 quest points. Access to that cavern system down there. And 600 experience in a whole bunch of skills. Attack, defense, strength, hit points, and crafting. Not a huge amount by any means. That's okay. And with that, we also get access to a new fairy ring, which is pretty cool. Down in those caverns. But first we'll use the big bones, I guess. 37 experience here, instead of just burying them for 15. Can't complain about that. I think we also have a different one we need to unlock. So I'll get that while we're here. Pick up fairy rings. This is the one that goes to this location. There's also out here near Zolra. We do have the agility level to skip across there, so that's pretty cool. But we can pop back down in here and start the next quest. We might as well start it now. I don't think we really need any stuff to actually start the quest. There's going to be a lot of items required in the long run. But for now, we can just head on in here and talk to Belioff. Back in Canifis, Vanstrom was gone, as expected. We will get our revenge someday. But for now, we have something we can help them with. Start in aid of the Myre-key. This base is no longer safe, so they're going to need to relocate before the Vire Watch come and kill them all. That's a pretty good plan. We are going to head to the old town of Bergdarat and see if there's any escapees from Myrditch that have made their home there. Scout the place out and try to find a location for their hideout. And while we're there, make a good reputation with the townspeople. We'll bring a silver weapon with us for fighting vampires, and all kinds of other supplies. So let's go and get what we need. It's going to take multiple trips, so this is going to be in batches. Heading south from Morton, we took the boat back. We arrive at Bergdarat. The gate is locked. The townspeople don't want visitors. They won't let us in. They think we're trying to take their blood or food. And why would I want that? Everyone's after something, and they have nothing. Nothing. They're keeping their blood, And the vampires can go suck a cow's udder. And they barely have enough food as it is, so we can't have any. In order to get on their good side, we're going to give them a trout. One piece of trout. And since we've given them some food, we're probably not after theirs. And now we can come inside. They're all very curious about that trout we just put in there. But here we are. They're thinking could be a snail, or cheese, or bread. Just anything at all. They don't have any food here, because this is not even really a town at this point. It is just an absolute mess in here. But we can help them out a bit. But first, we need to find an out-of-the-way place to make into a hideout. And they do have a spot we could use. The basement of the inn. There's a trapdoor to get down there, but it's covered with rubble currently. And the cellar is probably also full of rubble. So we'd want to clear that out first. If the group's going to be joining them here, we're going to have to help them fix things up a bit. And that we can do. So let's go check out this cellar. The bar pumps are here. Well, they're probably not going to work anyways. You have to climb over a broken wall and mine out the rubble over the trapdoor. Then we can head right down. As expected, the place is a huge mess. But we can start chipping away at the rubble. We can now clear out the remaining bits and put it in a bucket. And we need to do this many times in order to get this thing completely empty. We brought 3 buckets. Just need to do less trips. We also find rocks and various kinds of nails in the rubble. But we don't really need all that. So most of it's just going to go on the floor. We brought steel nails for when we're going to need to use nails here. There's some interesting things here, like black nails. Very strange things to have. But we don't really need them. We're just going to fill up our buckets with rubble. And then we can bring it outside. Also, there's a few bits and bobs in here, like this piece of plaster. But since we don't have space, we're just going to throw it in the bucket. And that's fine. After we cleared out the rest of the rubble, we suddenly noticed that there's a plaque on the wall. Somehow. So everything is nice and clean in here. Except for all these smashed furniture, but that's fine. You get a bit of information here about Myre-kay, the Icene Queen. Just on a plaque here. So we can go and drop off the rest of the rubble outside. Of course, I have to hop over a broken wall every time. Honestly, it'd probably be faster to break down the rest of that wall there and just not have to deal with that. But we're not I'm gonna do that, I guess. That should be good to go here. Area nice and cleaned. And now we can go and start helping fixing up the town a bit. Talking to Florin again. I've finished what I was doing at the inn, so now I can help with fixing things up. First order of business is the general store. Should go see Oral for more details. General store is over here, more towards the corner of town. They don't have much. They've got a bucket from a leaky roof, but we are here to help. What do you need? Over here at the general store. Things could use some work here. Fix the roof and the walls. Once we're done with that, we can look into the store's stock. Sounds manageable. Head up the convenient ladder to the roof. We can see that it is quite broken. But we can fix that right up with a few planks and nails. Now we don't need the convenient water bucket. It's still leaking, but just because it's just there. And we can also fix the wall. Looking good. Now, to be fair, this other wall is also not looking great, but I was only told to fix one wall, so here we are. Building's looking nice. So next up, the stocking of the store. We need 3 tinderboxes, 10 snails, and 10 bronze axes, which we can put in this crate. Now, needless to say, all this stuff is not conveniently located here in Berg de Rat. So we need to go and get some stuff. Needs to be raw snails, so we can source that from some snails over here in the twisting path to the west of Morton. It can be any kind of snail. Lean, fat. Just going to kill some snails and take the meat. We need 10 of these, so we're going to need more inventory space if it only lets us put 10 in at a time. But we don't really need the buckets or the druid pouches at this point, so we can probably make some space. Another thin snail. Yep, pretty much that. Drop the buckets, drop the druid pouch. And that's plenty of space. So we'll get these snails taken care of. And then we can easily go to various shops to get the rest of the things we need. Got all the snail meat in the crate. Then the tinderboxes. Then some bronze axes, where there wasn't enough in the first world, so we had to world hop. Fill the crate with bronze axes. And that is everything we need. While we are out here, though, we should probably get supplies for the next steps. Bunch more planks, and a few other things. Here is the supplies. Just a crate full of stuff. Fantastic. Then he even puts it in the crates right here. Fully stocked. Next up, fixing the bank. Amusingly, fixing a bank when we can never use a bank. But here we are. Heading down to the south here. We've got the bank booth and Cornelius. We can fix this somehow using a bit of swamp paste and some planks. We managed to use swamp paste to fix this glass pane somehow. Must be incredibly sticky. And we also got to do a glass jigsaw puzzle, so that's fun. And then we also need to fix the hole in the wall back here. Not exactly the most secure bank if there's a gaping hole in the back wall. But here we are. Things are looking much better. And now, I need somebody to work at the bank. Cornelius here. Can do that. They don't really do anything right now. So we just need to get them to agree to work at the bank. He asks us to recruit somebody. And so we just give him the job. He also somehow has a better set of clothes to be a banker. So here we are. Now we can use the bank if we were not an Ultimate Iron Man, of course. Next up, fixing another thing. They want the old furnace up and running. And we can do that. More outside of town this time. Right on the edge. We have a broken furnace. So we can fix the chimney. Patch up a hole in the side there with some steel. And now it is repaired. Just needs to be refueled with a bit of coal. And then lit. Then we get a cutscene here. We got Vanstrom again with Jagex. He's got a big old hammer there. And he works for Vanstrom. Apparently, he does a bit of tithing. But it's not been enough. Vanstrom has his wife, which he's using to coerce Jagex to do his bidding. They are looking for more human settlements to get the blood tithes from. Morton is dead, full of afflicted, and their blood is no good. Canifis is delivering, but still not enough. So they need to find new humans. And of course, they smell the smoke from the furnace that we just lit. Berg Darat is abandoned no longer. So they have a new mark. Of course, we're just trying to help. And what do we get? blood tithes coming down on the city. They have come over here to the general store where they're collecting blood in this barrel. It's terrifying. So we're going to put a stop to this. Jagex is very happy to find all these people to tithe. But we're not going to let that stand. He also brought some vampire juvenites with him. So that's no good. How's it going, guys? Going poorly? They're draining your blood. And we're just messing around. Jagex doesn't approve of us being here anymore. If we think we can stop him, we can go ahead and try. Just gonna turn on Protect from Melee and win. Go after Jagex first here. He has a big whacking hammer. The Dragon Scimitar is no good against the vampires, though. So we switch to the Blessed Silver Sickle here. Move out of the way so Velief can help a little bit. And then we just attack. The Blessed Silver Sickle is not the best weapon, but it'll get the job done. Velief is doing a little bit of damage. It's apparently level 71. And we are in a multi-combat zone, so we can help out with the last vampire here. Easy fight. Very easy fight. Jagex is dying. But maybe he can give us some information. An unfortunate situation being used like that. But you chose the wrong side. This wasn't a choice, though. They were threatening his family. So he didn't really have any other option. But for now, while you're dying, can you help us in any way? He wants us to save his family. Which we will, if we find them. So he has a little bit of information. The vampires fear a certain collection of items. Silver dust, garlic, Harlander, spider's eggs, and the potion made from all that. And he's done for. But he hopes we can bring light to Mauritania. That is a hard ask at this point. And we get his Warhammer, so that's fun. Anyways. Talking to Velief here. Very convenient that he showed up. We've got the new hideout ready to go. But he's going to return to the old base for now. So we can meet him there and arrange for everyone to get down here safely. We're going to go get a little bit more supplies. And then we can do just that. I have a bunch of stews, and that's going to be useful for what we're doing next. Velief is here. We've made it back to the old hideout. And he's talking about Drezel, the priest at Petrodomus. I know of him. He is also an old friend of Velief's, and he's going to do him a favor. Ivan is too young to be out here and wants to be a priest. So Drezel has agreed to take him in and train him. So later, he can come back more powerful to rejoin the fight. Velief, Polmafi, and Radagad are going to be heading down to the new base in Berg de Rat, while we escort Ivan to Paterdomus. I can manage that. Weapons made of silver are the only useful things we have so far against vampires. We're going to need a new option if we ever want to seriously deal with them. So we're going to ask Drezel about the tale of these 7 priestly warriors who blessed the salve, saved Mistlin, and in particular about Ivandis Sirges, who had a much better weapon for dealing with vampires, and apparently wasn't actually buried at the Paterdomus Temple. So I wanted to look into that, see what Drezel knows. He's not one for rumors, though, so we're going to need to poke around a bit. Go and tell Radagad and Polmafi that they are heading out. And then we just need to talk with Ivan. Taking you to the temple. We should get going soon. He's ready. But we're not ready. Give him all the stews. This will allow him to heal up a bit if he gets attacked during any of this. We could also bring him some armor, and if this goes poorly too many times, we might try that. But we can head to the temple now. We have a short route or a long route. As much as it says we are less likely to be attacked, we still will get attacked. So we're going to go with the shorter route and give this a shot. Vampires are here. Ivan's behind me. They start moving. We want to get these guys attacking us and not Ivan, if at all possible. It's a multi-combat zone. Their guys are level 75. So if we can get both of them attacking me, hopefully this should work right. Looks like we might be better off switching between them to keep their aggro on me. As long as Ivan doesn't get attacked, we've basically won here. We got enough prayer, we don't need to worry about prayer flicking or anything. We can hit decently with the little sickle, because we got the stews from the Warriors Guild. And when we're at the Warriors Guild, we can pop the Dragon Battle Axe out of the box there, get a super strength, and use the potions, also the Warriors Guild, to top off the other stats. So we are very solid against these vampires. Just swinging our sickle, keeping their attention. And Ivan won't even need to bother with all the delicious stews that we brought him. So I guess he's just going to have 14 stews that he can eat whenever he wants. Call it a parting gift as he goes to learn to become a priest with Drizzle. For level 75s, these guys have a pretty solid amount of HP, don't they? Nothing a bit of Sickling can't deal with, though. If this goes incredibly poorly, there's also a ring that you can use that can make it so you can attack with any kind of weapon. But we managed to get here. We can go chat with Drizzle. The only encounter there with those vampires. Very easy. And now, Drizzle time. We start our conversation with Drizzle, asking about the Wolfbane dagger. Because that's just how it's coded. So we get a free dagger in our inventory for no reason. And now we can talk about Ivan. Things really are escalating in Mauritania. But with our help, the Myre-key will find salvation in this dark land. I need to know about Avandis. And Veliaf's stories that he's heard aren't really approved by Drizzle. The rumor that Avandis isn't buried in the temple, he's not even going to humor the notion. So you're sure that Avandis is here? And he is. So what's this rumor about, anyways? He's not interested. Do you have proof? He's not going to go and dig him up or anything. It's not faith and all that. The history of this temple is where the 7 priestly warriors defended Missalin against the vampires. And their remains rest peacefully here. Have you seen the remains? No, of course not. You want to go dig them up? Not a great strategy. Anywhere else I could get more information on Avandis? We already know everything. But anything at all that could possibly help. Nothing? Then Mauritania is lost. We can save them. Just not with this story. Come on, anything at all. Everything in Mauritania could rest on this. And Drizzle will do anything to help. So just, please, work with me here. He's still a priest of Saradomin. But if it will help at all, we can go to the secret library. Gives us the library key, which you can use in this keyhole here, opening up a trapdoor. And now, we've got a library. All sorts of bookcases. We can search in here for the Sleeping Seven, telling us the story of these 7 priestly warriors how they came here to the temple, blessed the salve, and importantly, information on Avandis. He had a rod/staff that imbued him with power to control some of the minions of Draken's Horde. He also had a serum of some Gothixian variety that could destroy the vile creatures entirely. As for where he ended up, Avandis' primitive tomb apparently is out in Mauritania. Although it could be a trap. So we really shouldn't go looking for it. Although, it's worth a shot. The book gives us a place to start to look. In Mort Myre, there's a cavern running from northwest to southeast, with branching off caverns along the sides. Avandis was put to rest in the most northeastern, with all his worldly possessions. And then, the cavern was sealed up, and marks were added to make it look like there was a beast. The previous Myre-key base was right over here. And the spot we need is here. It's boarded up. We will smash those boards out of the way and enter this cave. In here, we can find another cave entrance, but more importantly for us today, the coffin of Avandis. On top of the coffin, there is a strange rod which gives off mortal and divine energies made of a silver and mithril alloy. Using a piece of soft clay, we make a mold of the entire rod. And then we just need to make the rod ourselves. To a convenient furnace over here in Edgeville. We take the rod mold, silver, mithril, and a sapphire to make a silthril rod. Enchant the sapphire, but it's still missing the other enchantment. The divine energies are missing. And so to get some divine energy in here, we go to Petadermis Temple. The River Salve is just chock full of divine energy. And it is exactly what we need here. It's a divine energy that wards off the beasts of Mauritania, including the vampires. So that is precisely what we need. So, using a rope, we drop it down the well. And now it glows in just the right way. The Rod of Avandis. Very fancy. And now, we take this rod and return to Veliath. Looks like Veliath and the others fixed the table when they got here. So things are looking very nice. An appropriate base, I would say. Also, hey, I made the Rod of Avandis. Pretty fancy, huh? Here you go. The weapon used by Avandis to great effect. And now, we know how to make it. And we have one. We are true Myre-key material. Quest complete. 2 quest points. Access to Berg Durant. And temple trekking. 2000 XP in attack, defense, strength, and crafting. So now, we have this location, base, hideout established. And from here, we can start focusing on dealing with the vampires again. And reestablishing contact in the Sanguinestry region. We're going to go on a diplomatic mission to Mistlin. Try to get some support for helping with the fight against Draken. But not right now. See if that technically started the next quest. Nope. While we have technically unlocked temple trekking, so that means we could go get the lumberjack outfit, it's still a bit awkward to do with only one direction. To start, we just need to talk to some of the people here and head off on a temple trek. Very similar to how we helped Ivan get to the temple, but with a lot more options of things that can happen. But once we get there, we have to make our way all the way back to right here. And we have no convenient way to do that. So, instead, we need to actually go and do the next quest to unlock the route back. And that will make this whole thing much more manageable. What is less manageable, though, is said next quest. But we will deal with that next time. Goodbye.